For decades, whenever U.S. investors talked about Africa, two words always seemed to come up: risk and potential. But what if that entire story is, well, obsolete? In this explainer, we're going to look at the massive shift from that abstract potential to real, tangible, de-risked opportunities. Let's dive in. Okay, so it really all starts with a huge shift in thinking. The old view, the one a lot of people still have, is all about aid and this far-off, fuzzy potential. But the new reality, what's happening on the ground right now, is about partnership and concrete projects. We're talking about a move from simply asking for help to inviting real serious business partners to the table. All right, so here's our roadmap. First, we're going to talk about moving beyond that whole potential narrative. Then I'll show you a safe on-ramp for getting into these markets. After that, we'll break down the two pillars that actually support this framework. Then we'll take a quick tour of some incredible opportunities. And finally, we'll wrap up with a simple 3C compass to help guide your strategy. First up, Africa beyond potential. This is like the fundamental shift you have to get. The era of just talking about what could be is over. The age of real, actionable, bankable projects is here right now. So what's really powering this change? It's the rise of what's called the bankable project. And this isn't just some vague business idea, it's a very specific kind of opportunity. One that has clear rules, the costs are all laid out, there are real partners involved, and there's a clear, realistic path to profitability. Basically, it's a business deal that's been vetted, structured, and is ready to go. And look, this isn't happening in a vacuum. There are three huge changes making all of this possible. One, African governments are actively working to fix their laws and business systems. Two, investors around the world are getting smarter. They're demanding real projects, not just pitches. And three, and this is crucial, U.S. businesses are being actively sought out as partners because of their reputation for quality and transparency. All right, so we've established the opportunity is real, it's tangible. But let's be honest, entering any new market feels risky, right? And that's where this next idea comes in. Your safe on-ramp. It's a framework designed specifically to take the risk out of entering these markets. And I love this metaphor because it just makes so much sense. I mean, think about it. You would never just floor it and swerve onto a packed highway, would you? No way. You use the on-ramp to get up to speed, find your opening, and merge in safely. Well, the exact same logic applies here. You need a structured, careful way to get into the flow of a new market. So what does this on-ramp actually look like? Well, it's a super straightforward three-step process. Step 1, you gain absolute clarity on what's happening on the ground. Step 2, you get real, tangible financial protection for your investment. And then, and only then, do you move to step 3. You enter the market with genuine confidence. Now, this whole on-ramp idea, it's not just a nice concept. It's built on two incredibly strong pillars of support that are there specifically to protect your investment from pretty much every angle you can think of. Let's talk about pillar number 1. This is all about knowledge. It's strategic guidance and cultural intelligence. It's about knowing how business really gets done on the ground before you even think about putting a single dollar in. Okay, so what does that actually mean for you, like in the real world? Well, for one, it means you're not going to make those classic, costly cultural mistakes. It means you get connected with the right partners, not just the first person you meet. It means you carefully vet everyone. And, maybe most importantly, you make sure your business is actually solving a real local need. And this quote right here is a perfect example of how this plays out. See, you don't have to go all in and bet the farm on some massive project from day one. Instead, you can test the waters with a small pilot project. You learn what works, you build trust with the local community, and then you grow safely. It's just a smarter way to do business. All right, on to pillar number 2. This one tackles the other big question everyone has, the money. This is all about financial de-risking, and the key here is that it's backed by, well, the U.S. government itself. This is so important. The big takeaway here is that you're not going in alone. You're backed by the Export-Import Bank of the U.S., or EXIM, and they provide real tools like loans, financial guarantees, and even insurance against things like political risk. So if something unexpected happens, you're covered. And the car insurance analogy just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Having insurance doesn't mean you start driving recklessly. Of course not. You still do your homework, you're still careful, but it gives you the peace of mind to actually get on the road, knowing you've got a safety net just in case. Okay, so we get the framework, we get the support pillars. Now for the fun part. Let's look at where you can actually put this stuff to work. We're going to take a quick tour of some key markets that are primed for partnership right now. And just take a look at the sheer variety here. It's amazing. In Côte d'Ivoire, you've got food processing and digital services. Head over to Senegal and you're seeing everything from tech and skincare to a growing sports economy. Then there's Ghana, with these incredible partnerships in creative industries and tech. These aren't just hypotheticals. These are active, growing sectors. But I want to zoom in on one story that I think is just incredible. It's what's happening in Benin with their cotton industry. For years, they just exported raw cotton, and as you can see, got a pretty low value for it. But now, by shifting to making made in Benin apparel, look at the difference in value. It's not even close. It's a total game changer. So you're probably asking, how did they pull that off? Well, it came down to a really bold government decision. They actually stopped exporting raw cotton altogether. The goal? To force the development of their own local textile industry, and they're backing it up with a massive new industrial zone built for this exact purpose. Okay, but why should a U.S. business care about this? Well, here's why it matters. That one decision creates this huge ripple effect of opportunity. Suddenly, there are openings in manufacturing, logistics, and packaging. It's creating a whole new skilled workforce. And it's opening the door for premium global brands, especially because Benin is focusing on organic cotton. So, we've covered a lot of ground, right? The big shift in perspective, the safe on-ramp framework, the real-world opportunities. Now, let's bring it all together with a simple tool you can take with you, your 3C compass. If you remember one thing from all of this, make it this. It all comes down to these 3 C's. First, clarity. You've got to know the real ground truth of the market. Second, confidence. Protect your capital with the financial tools that are available. And third, connection. It's all about building those trusted local partnerships that make everything else possible. Look, the old maps that investors use for Africa, the ones just marked with risk and potential, they're totally out of date. You can pretty much throw them out. A new map is here, one that's detailed with bankable projects and clear, safe entry points. So the real question is, where are you going to begin?